I keep doing these bootleg FNAF videos on very specific topics, like the Lego ones or the Mexican ones filled with lead. This guy contains hazardous amounts of lead. If consumed, it could kill me. But it's been a really long time since I've just gone back to the basics and done a video on just what's been going on with FNAF bootlegs. Because obviously, the ones from these very specific manufacturers in Mexico, or these Lego ones, are a very small fraction of what's actually being made out there. China has been up to some crazy stuff with FNAF bootlegs, and I want to talk about what's been going on. And there's also been some awesome stuff on the wondrous world of Amazon. Except this is an official product, so it doesn't count. And I think that'd be a great place to start for this video. What new FNAF bootlegs can you buy on Amazon, the biggest online marketplace in the world? Five Nights at Freddy's plush, 14-inch Freddy Mommy plush with Pocket Baby plush horror game stuffed animal plush for boys, girls by Erdic. 100 plus bought in the past month, 27% off, unique mother and child plush design. So, Freddy is a mommy, we're pretty proud of him, good for him, really glad he's found his passion in life. This plush here features this Freddy plush, which seems to be heavily based off of the official Franco Freddy plush pillow, which would make a lot of sense since that's a very recent and very popular Freddy plush. The Chica he has seems to be based on the Chica U2's plush, but they changed the eyes to look more normal. And I would say they changed it for legal reasons, but this next one would say otherwise. So as you can see, this is the same Freddy plush with a very U2's looking Chica. As well as this Foxy that seems to rip directly from the Funko keychain of him. And the deal with this one seems to be it's just a bit of a smaller Freddy and two extra characters, and then it doesn't have his little satchel that he keeps Chica in the other plush. Now, I did buy this plush, and I will be reviewing it at the end of this video, or maybe sooner, I don't know. But stay tuned for that if you want to see me look at this thing in person and see if it actually looks like this. Another trend I've been seeing on Amazon are these neon lights, these very cheaply made neon light decorations that they seem to be selling all across the board. I'm not sure where these are, of origin. They might be from the US, if anything, but they're very cheaply made bootleg LED light signs. You can see this Freddy one here, and it doesn't look that bad, but the designs of these vary greatly in quality. Because we can see here, we got this Foxy here, which is based on that old How to Draw Foxy thing, if anyone remembers that, or the coloring pages. This art has been used everywhere. I don't even know where it's originally from. And we got this awesome Bonnie here, who, it's accurate, but something's off. I think his eyes are just too high up or something. Then we got this Freddy, who is weirdly traced from the Help Wanted 1 box art. I'm not sure why they made this one, because the other one just looks way better. We got this Monty one, which is actually really good. This is actually really cool looking. I don't know if it's going to look that good in person, but from what I'm seeing here, this is pretty cool. This FNAF movie one, which looks somehow worse than the actual one. We've got this Glamrock Bonnie one, who is just as good as the Monty one. This Puppet one, who also looks pretty spectacular. I like it. Then we got this Chica one, who has a surprising amount of detail. Cupcake here. Another Cupcake with his eyes far apart. And we got this other Roxy, which also looks pretty cool. This Sun, which, this Bonnie, which looks terrifying. And then a pink version where his ears are closer together for some reason. This is a new character. I don't even know who this is. But a lot of merch tends to make a pink Bonnie. I don't know where this comes from. We got this one based on the Funko Snaps Bonnie figure, which just looks beautiful. This is just exactly what everybody thinks of when they think of Toy Bonnie. And then to add to this one, we've also got this Okay, so this one's based on the Funko Snaps Glamrock Freddy. His hat looks like just like a brick, and he's got it's completely asymmetrical. This is the most poorly traced thing I've ever seen. What happened to it? it's just like his teeth are just little lines. I don't even know what's happening. He doesn't have a nose. He has like a dent in his snout where his nose should be. I'm just like very confused by this one. I don't know what they were trying to do here, but it didn't quite go out how they planned. And then we got this other one here, which isn't as bad, but it's also like missing his ears and his hat and his nose again. So I don't really know if I can call it good. I can just say it looks a bit better than the last one. Then we got Chica. That's just Chica there. Nothing to note about this one. And this is Circus Baby. Looks just like her. Nothing wrong with it. We got Ballora here too. I don't know why they keep skipping their noses. There's a big trend here where they just don't have noses. This Blacklight Freddy here. Everybody's favorite classic character. Everyone's gonna buy it. This Let's Eat one is actually really cool. I might honestly consider buying this. And just seeing how these are. And if I did buy any of them to test it out, I'd probably go for this one, because this one's pretty cool. Yeah, moving on from these ones. So I may or may not have had this video idea in October originally, but yeah, so we got a bunch of bootleg FNAF Halloween costumes. So if you want to dress up for these for Halloween, too late, but maybe next year. Now, if you've ever shopped for Halloween costumes online, I'm sure you've come across these really cheap bodysuits where they include this crappy little mask that's just a printed out piece of foam. They're very, very common. And FNAF has gotten so many of them of literally anything you could imagine. And weirdly, lots of them are based on Funko figures, like this one of Chocolate Chica, which is a classic character. All the kids always want to dress up as Chocolate Chica every year. This costume's always sold out. It's crazy. It's crazy how popular Chocolate Chica is, especially because she's from the most popular FNAF game. And we got other Funko-related goodness here, like this awesome tie-dye Foxy here, who has some very, very small ears. I'm not really sure why they're so small, but they sure are. Also, it's funny how this definitely has better colors than the actual figure in person. We got this one based on the Rockstar Freddy action figure, but they clearly edited it a ton. I don't know why. Like, he has the big red kneecaps and the like, he's clearly Rockstar Freddy as the face, but then he's got these tiny little ears. He's got red eyes, like glowing red eyes. I don't know if they were trying to mimic the movie or what. He clearly has a FNAF 1 Freddy body, but then he has the giant knee pads still. Like, this face is ridiculous looking. Like, I kind of love this mask for how it looks, even though it's stupid looking. It looks dumb. We got this Withered Foxy, who I wanted to mention just because I think he looks very amusing. Primarily the ears. I know it's nothing original, but I just want to show another example. These funny, tiny little ears they always give these masks. And then we got this Freddy here, who I've scoured the web. I don't know where they got this art of Freddy from. It's, like, very, like, weird and realistic looking. It's not bad, it's just like, where did they get this? What did they possibly steal from to, like, get this weird-looking Freddy? It looks like one of those, like, fake movie trailer videos, so maybe it's ripped from one of those? Okay, apparently I was right on that thought. I came up with that thought on the spot while I was recording, but I decided to actually search up FNAF, like, movie trailer, like, fake stuff, and it's from that Slurp YouTube channel, which I actually plan on talking about in a future video, so I'm not going to talk too much about them, but I did find the Freddy image. Again, reverse image searching didn't come up with anything though, so I still don't know where they got this, but it is right next to some AI generated stuff, although I don't think it is AI generated, because this channel's also known for stealing fan art, so it also doesn't really look AI generated, so I'm going to go with the fact that this is just something they stole from somewhere. I'm not sure where he is. I found another angle of the model, which is another thing. He's definitely not AI. But very interesting little thing here. I don't know what this Freddy model's from. I don't know why these bootleggers found it, too. And speaking of bootleggers stealing random fan art, here's this Moon thing that I found, where this costume of Moon, it stole from this really random looking piece of fan art that is also right next to it. I assume it's based on this specific piece of fan art. It's a little different, but it's clearly like based on it. I don't know why they based it on this like very specific, clearly fan-made art of Sun and Moon, or just Moon, I guess, but I don't know. Very, very weird, but there's also a moon mask that goes with it, or sun mask. This character is so confusing to talk about. It's hard as a dyslexic person. Anyway, yeah, there's a cool little sun mask here. Very, very stylized face. I don't even know what's going on with it, to be honest. I don't know what's going on here. I tried to find the original artist, as I always do, and as Google always does, gave me only AliExpress results, so yeah, I could not figure out where this art was originally from, so if you know, please let me know. But we got this amazing little listing here, where, you can see Nightmare Fredbear, Nightmare Foxy, and then Cuddle Team Leader, Panda Team Leader, and Fireworks Team Leader. All the classic Five Nights at Freddy's characters here. I genuinely think these bootleggers just did not know that these were from Fortnite and not Five Nights at Freddy's, but it's just really funny to me. Also, this Cuddle Team Leader mask is, it's terrifying. If you guys didn't know, I am quite the Cuddle Team Leader fan. And you know, to cap off all this costume stuff, I think it'd be a great time to talk about this thing. Now, I did show this earlier in the video, but I didn't really explain it. Yeah, this is a costume that you wear. Now, sadly, it is not actually fully stuffed, it is inflatable, but it's still very, very good looking. I could see this being an official mascot at an event or something, and I would fully believe it, because it looks pretty good from these images. And it was only about $150 on AliExpress, which makes me very curious on what the actual quality would be once you receive it in the mail. But I wasn't about to find that out because I put it in my cart, and apparently the shipping is pretty expensive. So, yeah, 100,000 views, and I'll buy it. Alright, so now I'm going to talk about something that I'm going to review in the next video, but not in this video. Mainly because AliExpress takes a very long time to ship. And I think this deserves its own video on its own, but there's some very convincing FNAF bootlegs going out right now, and I think it's very intriguing. See this image right here? These are all fake. Up close, it's not that hard to tell, but from a distance, it's gotta be very easy to be fooled by these. Like, look at this in-person image of them. This is pretty dang close. It's actually kind of scary how accurate these Funko bootlegs are. And I was so intrigued by these that I did actually purchase them, so I will be reviewing these and comparing them to the real deals pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. AKA, like and subscribe. That's what I mean by stay tuned. Like and subscribe and hit the bell so you know. And while I'm pretty confident that these are fake, there's some other AliExpress listings that I'm not so sure about. I found this listing for some of the Funko Pop keychains, and looking at review images, it looks pretty much indistinguishable from the real thing, so I did buy a few of these to compare them to the real ones to kind of see if these are actually like overstocked from the factories, or if they just kind of made really accurate bootlegs of these really specific keychains. But considering all of these keychains are either newly released or have been re-released recently and are from waves that didn't sell too well, besides Rockstar Freddy, I think it might be pretty likely that these are legit. Overstock of legit products being resold on places like AliExpress is an extremely common tactic, especially from toy companies like this who overproduce a ton. And you know, all things considered, reselling it on a site like this is much better than, you know, throwing it in a landfill or something. And I also saw something similar going on with this listing of the Pint-Size Heroes FNAF Advent Calendar, which these are very specific figures that must have just been overproduced a bit. I think it's pretty likely that these are actually real, considering I don't think this Advent Calendar sold all too well. I definitely saw a lot more people with the one they made the year after, which was the Funko Pop one. This one's just way cooler. But I just find it very interesting. Although these FNAF 1 action figures I'm pretty confident are fake, but we will compare them in a few weeks. And the original action figures aren't the only victim of these very convincing Funko bootlegs, so we also got these Funko Snaps bootlegs that have been going around, which, all things considered, do look pretty obviously fake. But they're still definitely worth mentioning and being weary about. But these ones seem to be prone to some pretty obvious paint errors, like you can see Vanny's mouth isn't painted on the inside, or Shattered Monty's teeth being black for some reason, this red strap around Freddy's microphone, and just generally these are very shiny and greasy looking. There's also some pretty convincing looking bootlegs of the Funko plush keychains of all things, but to be fair, these are pretty obvious. You can tell they're fake because they look much cheaper than the real ones. And these are probably an okay alternative considering how hard the originals are to find nowadays. And to cap off this section about convincing looking bootlegs, I do think that these U2's ones are pretty convincing. However, it's pretty much just the product images, because I guarantee if you got these in person, they would not look this good. They'd be vacuum sealed and wrinkly and ugly. Also, if you're gonna find legit U2's, I think there's a pretty obvious website to go to. But anyway, yeah, let's move on from this topic. So, as everybody knows, U2's did their FNAF figures and their FNAF plushies in completely different art styles. The figures are much more accurate to the game appearances, and the plushies are very, very stylized. Well, these next bootlegs we're looking at give us a glimpse into what it would be like if U2's did their plushies and their figures in the same style. So here we got this Freddy U2's plush, which is obviously bootlegged, but it's styled after the figure rather than the actual Freddy plush they made, which I think is very peculiar. Why the bootleggers would go with this despite it being 10 times more complicated, I'm not really sure. There's also a Bonnie one, a Chica one, and a Foxy one, and I think Foxy might have forgotten his pants today. Someone should probably tell him about that. Chica's bib also happens to say licked cat. I'm not sure how you pronounce that first word, but I don't think that's what Chica's bib typically says. At least it's better than Q. But at least Freddy's makes sense. He has an F for Freddy, obviously. But what could the H stand for? Hook? And we finally have our answer that Pink Bonnie's name starts with a T. I think his name is Talbert, personally. And we also got this cool purple skeleton Freddy. This is the most badass thing I've ever seen. This is a cool Fortnite skin variant. We got these awesome Freddy slippers, which look absolutely stunning. You would look awesome in these. Anybody could look awesome in these. We got these plushies based on some of the mascots from Ruin that you can't even see unless you go into debug mode, which I think is really funny. These are like nothing characters. Nobody even knows who these are, but they got bootlegs somehow. And these are quite beautiful specimens right here. I believe these are based on the Disney Tsum Tsums, I think they're called, but yeah, they sure didn't capture the art style very well, and I kind of love it. These things are beautiful in a way. A few months back, there were some official FNAF bear bricks, which I did buy, and I think these things are kind of ugly, but they're cool, and I guess it makes sense because Freddy is an actual bear. But screw it, the bootleggers turned every character into a bear. This Mexican bootleg Springtrap is pretty funny looking, but he's also a pretty standard procedure, so I wouldn't usually talk about him, but I thought it was funny how they just made him orange for some reason. Are they trying to look like the Toy Fair prototype? We got this figure of the yellow rabbit from the FNAF movie, but let me shake it up a bit. Here's a plush of him, and this thing's kind of awesome. I think if Funko made it, it would look just like this. Now we got some more pretty standard stuff. Here we got some listings for some Fanverse bootlegs with a Springtrap plush, which there's gotta be something up with this if I'm talking about it. So here we got Candy, whose name is Tanguo Mao. We got Springtrap, who is 2Z. We got Juan. I mean, that might as well be Juan. Who the hell is Blake the Badger? And then we got Huang Shu Lang. Now, something tells me that's not Huang Shu Lang, and that they might have gotten the names for these listings mixed up. Now, before this video gets too long, I think it's about time we get into some physical reviews of these bootlegs, because we all know I love reviewing things in person, especially Mexican bootlegs that smell awful and I don't want to touch with my bare hands. Honorable mention to the Springtrap mask, by the way. This actually looks pretty good, so yeah, shout out to this bootleg.
Slinky and Turtle have a very important message for you guys, that there is going to be brand new merchandise.
Okay, I got this thing here. Now, as you can see here, it says Horror Bear Mommy Plush Baby Animal Plush for boys and girls. So that means This is exactly what I said I was going to review earlier in the video. Like, actually listen to this thing. Alright, ripped it open. Let's see here. Alright, I opened it. I have not seen the other side, so... Oh dear. Alright. Alright. Oh my... Wow, it looks exactly like the product image. It looks just like it. I'm actually befuddled. It looks so close to the product. As advertised, Chica can go inside the little satchel pretty easily. So let's compare them to the plushies that they're clearly ripping from, so... Which one's official? I wonder. Oh, I don't know. I don't know, guys. Which one do you think is real? Which one's the real one? You know, it probably has something to do with the fact that this one wasn't vacuum sealed. Maybe this looked good after it was initially manufactured, but vacuum sealing them actually just, like, ruins it. What happened to this thing? It looks so sad. It's so, like, defeated. And then this guy looks so puffy and awesome. Like this is a good plush. I consider this to be one of the best Freddy plushies because he's very well stuffed. He's very soft. He looks good. Like this is one of my favorite Freddy plushies. And now we can compare Chica to the plush that she's based on, and I just don't think this was worth comparing here. It's just not really worth it. I don't have to say anything. And then the little satchel here with the cupcake embroidered onto it. The embroidery there isn't that bad. Like, it could be so much worse. It looks fine. The satchel is very cheap looking, though. Yeah. So, would I recommend this? Considering the asking price is pretty much the same as this official plush, I'm gonna have to go with no. Okay, I'm reorganizing the room and I found something, and... well, as a little treat for old time's sake, I was supposed to review this in the last video, and it didn't arrive in time, so I suppose... oh god, this thing reeked. Okay, so, we've got this cool figure here. I'm wearing gloves, because obviously he has lead on him. So, yeah, classic Mexican bootleg deal here. He's got a sculpt, is a way to put it. He's got a little light button. I don't think it actually does anything, though. You could see he's based on Golden Freddy from the FNAF movie. He has 2 ears, though, so we're just gonna, you know, fix that there. That wasn't actually, if you didn't know, I just twisted that off. It's not supposed to come off. Now, I'm not actually sure if he can come apart like a lot of these can. I mean, his face is kind of coming off, but I don't know. Okay, it can. That doesn't look bad, actually. That's kind of cool, I think. I don't know, man. Of the Mexican bootlegs I've looked at in videos, this is absolutely the most, like, cheap garbage one that I've had yet, because not only does it, it still smells bad. All of these things smell bad. That's just a trend here. But this one in particular, like, he feels like trash. Like, the actual, like, paint quality is so, like, ugh. It's like, when I touched him with my hands briefly and then I washed him, he's like, it's like sandpapery. I don't know. He feels gross and he looks gross. This paint job is very unflattering, especially on the feet there. That doesn't look very good. Yeah, I don't know. I saw when this bootleg in particular, I remember this being posted on Twitter and people were like, oh my gosh, it's so good. This? I mean, okay, you do you if you think this looks good, but I just can't get behind this, you know? I like the little line behind his head. That's actually game accurate. There's a bit of yellow bleeding onto his hat because they spray paint it. You can see his, the neck, I guess. Yup, he's got his little hand here. I think this sculpt was ripped from some kind of model, some kind of fan model. They ripped this sculpt from. I don't believe they made it themselves, because of how, like, I don't know. This just doesn't look like their sculpting style they'd usually have. They clearly tweaked it though, because I think these endoskeleton pieces were added on later. But I think they probably based this pretty heavily off of an existing fan model, which would explain why his face shape is a lot more accurate than usual for these. Also, cool fact about this thing, his feet are warped, so he can't really, like, he can't stand on his own. He, like, will always tilt. So, that's pretty cool. You can see he has a microphone. Oh, the bottom of his feet are hollow. That's cool. But he has this microphone here, which does not fit in his hand. This is a massive microphone. Like, how is that even how is that even meant to fit in the first place? It's so huge. He has this gargantuan microphone. Mouth doesn't open like most of these things, which is really disappointing, because that's one of the coolest features consistently. But yeah, here we got Golden Freddy. I give this bootleg a 2 out of 10. I've seen better. The ones that I reviewed, the last time I reviewed these bootlegs in person, I was actually pretty impressed, because they had some pretty good figures. Like, I thought those last ones I reviewed were pretty good. This one's kind of trash. This is garbage. The last one I received, I don't remember if I put him on video, but it was this Glamrock Freddy one, and, he was a little stinky, but less so than the usual ones. He doesn't have that weird spray paint look. He seems a bit safer. I tested him and I got nothing back, so I think this guy's pretty good. The plastic is definitely still pretty unfavorable, like he's got a bit of a stench to him, but yeah, this thing I thought it was kind of neat. It gets the job done. It's a pretty alright Glamrock Freddy figure, all things considered. And the sculpt looks pretty original. Like, they clearly sculpted this from scratch. They based it on a fan model, I believe, but I do think the sculpt itself is original. This one, these are like the two different sides of the spectrum for these things. Actually, no, we have 3 different sides. And I actually do have an example of the third side, which would be this guy, who, you remember, this guy's iconic. I still have him. He usually sits in a container.
Well, that sure was a fun little adventure back into the world of FNAF Bootlegs. I hope you guys enjoyed. I think I'm probably done with this video, so stay tuned, because I got some exciting stuff releasing next month. Here's a cool little teaser. This might not even be a teaser, this might just be a reveal image, but stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys in the next video. New FNAF collection tour coming next month as well.